The title of this talk is called The Seven Rays. The Seven Rays. And the rays, according to the esoteric teachings, are reflections of the divine or source energy. Reflections of the divine or source energy. They're streams of energy from which we function under. They help us answer the questions of who are we? Where do we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? So they help us answer the four questions of who are we? Where do we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? In the New English Bible, the New Testament, under the opening of the sealed book, Revelations chapter 4, verse 4 and 5, it says, "From the throne went out flashes of lightning and peals of thunder. Burning before the throne were 7 flaming torches, the 7 spirits of God." They, in the esoteric teachings, are called the 7 rays. The 7 rays. So each chakra is controlled by a ray, and each of our physical bodies, emotional bodies, mental bodies, personality, soul, and monad all have a different ray makeup, and they're different for everyone, which is why we have a very different world. Everybody is different, but we tend to see the world through our ray makeup, and therefore, of course, we're right. But if you can learn to respect and know the different rays of the people that you're with, you'll be able to get along much better. You'll be able to get along much better. So the big rays are called the rays of aspect. The rays of aspect. And they are ray 1, ray 2, and ray 3. Ray 1, ray 2, and ray 3. And it tends to be represented as a triangle, with ray 1 at the top, ray 2 to the left, and ray 3 completing the triangle. The rays of aspect deal with quality and appearance. Through them, form comes into being. In other words, they help us create form. They are the building blocks of our existence. So ray 1 is also called spiritual will and power. Spiritual will and power. Ray 2 is called spiritual love and wisdom. Spiritual love and wisdom. Ray 3 is called creative active intelligence. Creative active intelligence. It's the divine plan. The divine plan. It's the spiritual blueprint. The spiritual blueprint. There's a lot of controversy over the colors of the rays, so I'm going to speak about my understanding of the colors of the rays. And there's more information in the Tibetan books called The 7 Rays of Life and the Rays and Initiations. And there's many different interpretations of these books. Spiritual will and power. The color is red. The color is red. Spiritual love and wisdom. The color is blue. Creative active intelligence, or the divine plan, the color is yellow. So why are these colors important? Well, because we all have a different ray makeup, we sense, feel, see, intuit things differently. So some people see colors. So when I teach, I like to have people understand what they're seeing. So somebody will say, oh, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see green, I see blue, I see yellow. What does that mean? So that's the language that they understand. So the colors are important. Other people don't see colors at all, so it doesn't really matter. But we really work to teach to all aspects. Rays 4 through 7 are reflections of ray 3. Ray 4 through 7 are reflections of ray 3. So we have the triangle of ray 1, 2, and 3, and off of ray 3 comes these beams of energy called ray 4, ray 5, ray 6, and ray 7, and they're rays of attribute. Rays of attribute. So I want to speak about the physical body first. The physical body first. The physical body is the last place to receive the energy, and we all have a physical body. Generally speaking, the physical body can only be ray 1, ray 3, ray 7, or very occasionally ray 4. So ray 1, ray 3, ray 7, or ray 4. The ray 1 physical bodies tend to be the Olympians. The sprinters. They sprint and then they burn out. They sprint and then they burn out. They're incredibly strong. Or the swimmers in the Olympians. They swim and then they stop. They swim and they stop. They're very, very, very strong. They're loaded with muscles. The ray 4 physical body have more of an hourglass shape. More of an hourglass shape. They're very well endowed and can be very well adorned. Most people fit into the ray 7 physical body or the ray 3 physical body. So that's why there's more literature written about the ray 7s or the ray 3s. The ray 7 physical bodies have to have structure and consistency. They have to have structure and consistency or they don't do well. They have to have regular routines. They're very orderly. They can eat a lot and won't gain any weight. They love to organize other people's things. So if you have a ray 7 physical body sitting in your waiting room and there's magazines all over the place and they're outdated and there's piles of books and nothing is alphabetized, while the ray 7 physical body is waiting for you to see them, they will organize your things for you and they will love it. So you'll just walk out and be like, oh my God, this is so fantastic. The magazines, the old magazines are thrown out. The ones that are left are straightened. Books in the bookcases are magically alphabetized. It's just wonderful to have that experience from a ray 7 physical body, which I am not. The ray 7 physical bodies also, when they dance, they tend to dance more by moving their arms and their legs. They try to keep up with the ray 3 physical bodies, but they become exhausted. The ray 3 physical bodies are the marathon runners. They go, 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 go until they drop. They have tons of energy. They're great multitaskers. They tend to gain weight as they get older, and they can pretty much make a meal out of anything. Whatever you have, water and a toothpick, it'll work for them. But they love to eat. They tend to be able to eat, drive, and put their makeup on at the same time. They're multitaskers. They're a great person to have if you're on deadline. They will keep going until they drop. They'll skip a meal. Whereas the ray 7 physical body, if you're on deadline, they're going to have to stop to have dinner. They're definitely going to have to stop to have dinner. So when you're hiring people and you're on deadline all the time, it's good to have a couple of Array 3 physical bodies in your office, because there's the ones that are going to keep going until they drop. The Array 3 physical bodies also tend to have piles of information or stuff all over their desks, their house, or their office. And they know where it all is at any given moment. So if you have 2 Array 3 physical bodies in your home, both of them will have piles of stuff, and you don't touch my stuff, and I don't touch yours, because it will disrupt the organization. The Ray 3 physical bodies tend to dance more with their legs versus their arms. And the ray of the physical body does not change from during your lifetime. Once you come in with a Ray 3 physical body, you will stay a Ray 3 physical body. It will not change during this lifetime. The ray of the emotional body can be a 2, a 6, or occasionally a 1. So the emotional body, what makes up the emotional body, can be Array 2, Array 6, and occasionally Array 1. And this can change in a lifetime. You can come in with Array 6 emotional body, and as you do your spiritual work, it can change to Array 2 emotional body. So the Ray 1 emotional bodies, they're extremely volatile. Extremely volatile. It's like walking on eggshells around them. They never know what will happen next. They never know what will happen next. And you don't know what's going to happen next. So you can come in being calm, collected, and like 5 minutes later be like a screaming person. And there's actually a book called Walking on Eggshells, and it's written about these Ray 1 emotional bodies. The Ray 2 emotional bodies are extremely compassionate. They'll avoid arguments at all costs. And again, these are generalizations. They dislike confrontation. So they're extremely compassionate. They avoid arguments at all costs. And they dislike confrontation. The Ray 6 emotional body is connected to a cause with passion. Connected to a cause with passion. So I used to be a Ray 6 emotional body. And I'm also a physical therapist. So I would say to people, did you do your exercises? Did you do your exercises? The only way you can get better is if you do your exercises. How come you didn't do your exercises? What's wrong with you? You know you're never going to get better if you don't do your exercises. That is a classic Ray 6 emotional body. And I was very passionate when I worked in a very traditional setting. Now I've changed into a Ray 2 emotional body. So it's like, did you do your exercises? No? All right, well, just do the best you can. Just do the best you can. The mental body, or the mental subtle body, is the ray of the lower mind, what we call the lower mind in the esoteric teachings. It can be a Ray 1, Ray 4, or Ray 5. Ray 1, Ray 4, or Ray 5. So in my classes, when I ask people to figure out their rays, a lot of times they'll say, well, the ray of my mental body is Ray 6. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just told you it can either be a Ray 1, a Ray 4, or a Ray 5. Can't be a Ray 6. That's not the way it works. So the Ray 5 mental body is the ray of the surgeon, the accountant. It's decisive and detailed. You want a Ray 5 surgeon. You don't want somebody to get in the operating room and then take a vote. Which hand should we operate on? The right or the left? Let's take a vote. You want somebody that's going to go in there, know exactly what they're doing, make the exact cut, do what they need to do, and get out. The same thing with the accountant. You want a decisive and detailed accountant. You don't want to say, oh, well, your checkbook, plus or minus $2,000, don't worry about it. The Ray 4 mental body tends to be the ray of the artist, the mediator, or the therapist. This is the ray of bridging, of linking. It's a unifier. The people with the Ray 4 mental bodies tend to gather information as they go along. They can also be the drama king or the drama queen. Very colorful ray. The Ray 1 mental body is the cutthroat. Give me the bottom line. Don't give me those details, just give me the bottom line. They're very direct. They're good to have around if you need to make a fast decision. They're very organized and they're very realistic. And the ray of the mental body does not change in a lifetime. The ray of the mental body does not change in a lifetime. The personality can be ray 1 through 7. Can be ray 1 through 7. Generally speaking, it's how you spend your time. How you spend your time. What is your profession? So this ray of the personality can change in a lifetime. The ray of the personality can change in a lifetime. And the personality in the esoteric teachings tends to be the totality of the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. The physical body, the emotional body, or the mental body. So it's how do they all work together? But the personality, as I said, has its own ray makeup, And it's generally how you spend your time in your profession. So these are just some very general descriptions, So examples of Ray 1 personalities would be a leader, a ruler, a statesman, a soldier, people in high levels of administration, in politics and government. These people are very courageous, diligent, and unafraid to take risks. An example of a Ray 2 personality could be a teacher, a healing professional, various service professions. They tend to be very compassionate, eager to help, generous, calm, patient, tactful, reliable, and intuitive. And be a scholar, an abstract thinker, a judge, an astrologer. They can be clear, intelligent, creative, adaptable. They can also be materialistic. Every ray has a positive and not so positive attributes. We're going to do the best we can to stick with the positive attributes. The fourth ray is the ray of the artist, the musician, the mediator, certain types of healers. They can be very imaginative, creative, spontaneous, able to create peace and beauty. The Ray 5 personality is a baker. You need to be accurate with what you put in the cake. You just can't throw it all in casually and hope for the best. Yeah, and put it all in at once. There's a system to baking. There's a system to baking. The Ray 5 personality can also be the scientist, the technician, the computer expert, the lawyer, or the engineer. And as I said, it can also be the surgeon. This person can master their chosen field of expertise. They can master their chosen field of expertise. The 6th Ray personality can be the missionary, the saints, the martyrs. Again, certain kinds of healers. They can be very idealistic, enthusiastic, sincere, loyal, strong, persistent, and self-reliant. The personality of Ray 7 can be an organizer, a manager, a film or stage producer, a shaman, a ritualist. They will produce order out of chaos. They will produce order out of chaos. So those are some generalizations for the personality. And I'm going to do more in a moment. But first we're going to do the ray of the soul. The ray of the soul is the ray of the higher mind. The ray of the higher mind. It does not change in a lifetime. This tends to be what you are drawn to do. What are your hobbies? What you are drawn to study will eventually influence everything about you and how you weave it into your life. This is the ray of the soul, is the ray that will push your personality to grow the most. Your personality to grow the most. And as you become a soul-infused personality, your life will be devoted to the ray of your soul. The ray of your soul. And I'm just going to give you an example of my soul ray. My soul ray is a ray 3. I am a ray 3 soul. So this ray 3 soul is again the divine plan. The divine plan. So as ray 3 soul begins to infuse or take over my personality, I will eventually organize a group of people to serve a greater good, no matter where I go. I can be in Florida, I can be in New York, I can be in Nebraska, I can go to Hawaii. If I'm there long enough, sooner or later, my Ray 3 soul will figure out how to get a group of people together to serve the greater good, the divine plan, because that is who I am. I am a soul-infused personality. So this Ray 3 soul colors all I do. Colors all I do. I can't help it, and I like it. I like it now. So that's an example of one soul ray. And the best way that you can determine what your soul ray is to sit in meditation and ask the question, show me what is the ray of my soul. And listen, see, intuit, visualize the answer. Visualize the answer. The last subtle body that we're going to talk about in the rays is the monad. The monad. That is the I am presence. The I am presence. And the monad is the first separation from source energy. The first separation from source energy. So the ray of the monad can only be a 2 or a 3. Can only be a 2 or a 3. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Can only be a 2 or a 3. So the ray 2 monad is spiritual love and wisdom. Spiritual love and wisdom. And the ray 3 monad, once again, is the divine plan. The divine plan. So the ray of my monad is a ray 2 monad. I am a ray 2 monad. So everything that I do as a monadic infused soul, infused personality, is colored with spiritual love and wisdom. Spiritual love and wisdom. Wherever I go, I take my ray makeup with me. And that doesn't change in a lifetime either. So to further go into the rays, to give you some more descriptions of the rays and see how they fit into your life. Generally speaking, the ray 1 people bring things into being. They create and destroy for the highest possibility if you're spiritually involved. They create and destroy for the highest possibility if you're spiritually involved. This is the ray of the natural born leader, the natural born leader. It can be positive or negative. Ray 1 is the ray of the pioneer, the ray of the pioneer. They're the get the message out there kind of folks. Get the message out there kind of folks. And this ray 1 affects the crown chakra and the pineal gland. The crown chakra and the pineal gland. Like I said, every chakra is influenced by a ray. So ray 1 is spiritual will and power, and it affects the crown chakra and the pineal gland. And the color is red. The color is red. The ray 2 is spiritual love and wisdom. It's more gentle and patient and compassionate than ray 1. You'd never have a ray 1 pioneer. You have ray 1 pioneers. This is the ray of the teacher or the facilitator. The color is blue. The color is blue. And this ray affects the heart chakra and the thymus gland. The heart chakra and the thymus gland. And this heart chakra is under a great deal of stress today, unmanaged stress. The ray 3 is the ray of active creative intelligence. It's the ray of communication and philosophy. It's the ray of Earth, planet Earth. So each planet has a ray. Each planet has a ray. It's a much more complex system than we think. The ray 3 is the motivating impulse in the initial work of creation. As I said, it is the divine blueprint, the divine plan. You must have a plan. If you can't create a plan, and it can be set with strong intentions, the universe will then support this intention. This ray affects the throat chakra and the thyroid, the throat chakra and the thyroid. And the color is yellow. The color is yellow. The fourth ray is the ray of harmony through conflict. Harmony through conflict. Many people with a ray 4 makeup choose to learn their lessons through conflict until there is a certain degree of spiritual development, and then you can choose harmony. Yes, you can choose harmony versus conflict. This is the ray of the artist. This is the ray of the mediator. This is the ray of the chef. This is the soul ray of humanity. The soul ray of humanity. Humanity has a personality ray of ray 5 and a soul ray of ray 4. So this is the soul ray of humanity. So at this point, at this time, most people on the planet learn their lessons through conflict. Many people with a ray 4 personality, or a lot of ray 4 in their system, have a hard time making up their minds. So many people with a lot of ray 4 have a hard time making up their minds. So when I said earlier that generally speaking, the ray of the mental body can be 1, 4, or 5, and some people say, well, I'm a ray 6 mental body. I know right away that they have a ray 4 mental body because they have a hard time making up their minds. The ray 4 people tend to sit on the fence for a while, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes years. The longer you sit on the fence to make a decision, the more conflict you will create in your life, according to the esoteric teachings. And the color is orange. The color is orange. The ray 5 is the ray of concrete knowledge and science. Concrete knowledge and science. As I said earlier, this is the ray of the surgeon. They are very accurate. This is the ray of the bookkeeper or the accountant. These people have to get it right. They can do a lot of research. If they're in a classroom, these are the people that will take copious amounts of notes. Copious amounts of notes. So if you miss something, you want to find the ray 5 person in the class that will give you the best notes possible. This is the ray that affects the sacral chakra, the ovaries, and the testes. The sacral chakra, the ovaries, and the testes. And the color is green. The color is green. So many times I'll be working on somebody's sacral chakra and they'll say, oh, I see green. What does that mean? What does that mean? Then we have the ray 6. And the ray 6 is devotion and idealism to a cause. Devotion and idealism to a cause. This is the ray of religious traditions. Note the word religious traditions and fundamentalists. This is the ray of the healthcare system. My doctor knows everything. I'm going to trust my doctor. My doctor will tell me what to do, and my doctor will make it right. This ray affects the solar plexus chakra and the pancreas. The solar plexus chakra and the pancreas. This is the ray of I will make things happen. I will make things happen. And passion is a redeeming quality for the ray 6 people if it's used for the highest good. An example of that would be Mother Teresa. She was passionate about what she did. And the color is purple. The color is purple. Then we have the ray 7. The ray 7 is known as divine law and order. Divine law and order. It's the ray of divine ceremonial order and magic. Divine ceremonial order and magic. It's the ray of synthesis. This ray helps bring spirit into matter. Helps bring spirit into matter. This is the ray of we will make things happen. The power of the group. We will make things happen. The power of the group. The 7th ray affects the basic chakra and the adrenal glands. The basic chakra and the adrenal glands. And the color is violet. The color is violet. So besides having your own personal ray makeup for your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your personality, your soul, and your monad, every country has a ray makeup. Every country has a ray makeup according to the esoteric teachings. Because I'm talking from the United States, I'm under the influence of ray 6, which controls the personality of the United States, and ray 2, which is the soul of the United States. So the personality of the United States is ray 6, and the soul is ray 2. If I lived in Russia, the personality of Russia is ray 6, and the soul is ray 7. The personality of Russia is ray 6, and the soul is ray 7. So both the United States and Russia, from a personality perspective, are devoted to themselves. Devoted to themselves. And in the case of the United States, they're devoted to helping others. This is the ray 6, devoted. Many times in history, we've stuck our nose in other people's business because we're devoted to helping them. Devoted. The idea is for the United States to become a soul-infused personality. So the ray 2, spiritual love and wisdom, is a control. The path for Russia is to become a soul-infused personality, allowing the 7th ray to become infused into the 6th ray of personality. Great Britain, the personality of Great Britain is ray 1, spiritual will and power, and the soul is ray 2, spiritual love and wisdom. Spiritual love and wisdom. And the last 2 that I'm going to talk about, there's China. China has a personality of ray 3, but the soul is ray 1, spiritual will and power. And lastly, there's India. India has a ray 4 personality, so loaded with conflict, loaded with conflict, loaded with conflict. But the soul of India is ray 1, spiritual will and power. There's a lot of power in India, and there's a lot of power in China. If both of these countries could at some point become a soul-infused personality. A soul-infused personality. So because I live in the United States and I have my own personal Ray makeup, and in addition, I carry the Ray makeup of the Ray 6 for the personality of the United States and the Ray 2 for the soul. Now I'm going to vacation in India. So I take my own personal Ray makeup with me, the Ray makeup of the United States, and I plop myself in India, and I become under the influence of the Ray 4 personality of India and the Ray 1 soul ray. It's like taking your umbrella with you. It just sticks all the time. You never take it off. I'm going to give two personal examples of some famous people in time. One is Mother Teresa, and one is Michelangelo. Two different people. Both made a very big impact on our history. So the Ray makeup of Mother Teresa, she was a Ray 3 physical body. She could go until she dropped. She was a Ray 2 plus emotional body, so she had a tremendous amount of compassion, tremendous amount of love and compassion. She was a Ray 4 mental body, so she was a great mediator, a great healer, a facilitator. Her personality was a Ray 6 plus. She was extremely devoted to what she did. And she would go into these places and say, I have to go into this country, and the government officials would say, Mother Teresa, you can't go there. And she said, I have to. I promise God. And they were like, no, Mother Teresa, you don't understand. You can't go there. And she said, but I have to. I promise God. And this would go on for a while, and what would happen? The war would stop. Mother Teresa would go into the country, do what she needed to do, get out, and the war would continue. So that's that extreme Ray 6. Devotion and idealism to a cause. The soul of Mother Teresa was a Ray 2, which is again is spiritual love and wisdom, and her monad was a Ray 2, spiritual love and wisdom. Very powerful, loving, kind figure in our history. And then we have Michelangelo, the artist. We're not really sure what his physical body was. His emotional body was Ray 6, so he was devoted and passionate about what he did. Devoted and passionate for what he did. And now here comes the fun part. His mental body was a Ray 4, his personality was a Ray 4, and his soul was a Ray 4. So he was tormented by conflict. You have three Ray 4s, your mental body, your personality, and your soul, Ray 4. Harmony through conflict. He would make something and then he said, no, that's no good, and he would slash it through and start all over again. It was never good enough for him, but he was an extremely gifted artist. And then his monad was a Ray 2, again of spiritual love and wisdom. And lastly, I'll end with the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, and the animal kingdom. The mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, and the animal kingdom. And I'm only going to talk about the animal kingdom, which also has a personality ray collectively and a soul ray. So the animal kingdom, their personality is Ray 6. They are devoted to humans. To the extent that they might actually get sick. If somebody is a diabetic in the household, it's not uncommon for the animal to develop diabetes because they're devoted to humans. They'll do anything to help their human companions. And the soul of humanity, of the animal kingdom, the soul of the animal kingdom is Ray 3, the divine plan. So the divine plan for the animal kingdom is for it to be devoted to humanity. The divine plan of the animal kingdom is for it to be devoted to humanity. And so it is. So it is.